Hello, and welcome back to the Final K, and welcome to Stage 3 at the Tour Down Under. We are Stage 3, we're halfway through the Tour Down Under now. It is 140 kilometres from Henley Beach to Nairn. I've been watching the stage from the start. Not a lot has happened. Quite a quiet stage. So it is. We're just coming up to the final 40 kilometres now. There is a breakaway 41 seconds in front of the peloton. They're attacking for the second intermediate sprint here. The breakaway have already passed it, but the peloton has now split. You've got one Jayco rider, one Australian national rider, an Ineos rider, and a Visma rider breaking away from the peloton. Peloton are slowly bringing them back, but anyway, some breaking news actually. Leonard Van Etveld didn't start, so he is out of the Tour Down Under. He was quite a lot of people's GC favourite coming into this, with hopes to find his 2024 form, but unfortunately he has not started. He is pulled out of the Tour Down Under, as well as Jonas Ruch from Lotto Intermarché as well. So two Lotto Intermarché riders have pulled out of the Tour Down Under, which, hopefully they're all right. Hopefully they're all good. But yes, 2,500 metres of elevation today. They've already done Wickham Hill. So Wickham Hill was 2.9 kilometres long and had an average gradient of 7.5%. So Santiago Buitrago has just attacked from the peloton. Well, he's trying to get away. He's not getting far. But as you can see on my screen, that is where we're sitting with that red arrow. We're sort of sitting in and around that area. So we are. Where that red arrow is, that's where the peloton and the breakaway are looking right about now. So in the breakaway, we have got Enzo Pellini, who was in the breakaway in the first stage. We have got Baptiste Vestroffer from Intermarché, Lotto Intermarché, Enzo Pellini from Groupama FDJ. And we have got Urenstrad, who is in the breakaway for the third day in a row. He's in the King of the Mountains jersey at the moment. But right now in the peloton, there's quite a lot of acceleration at the front. So we had four riders earlier, and now with Santiago Buitrago, and now we have Luke Durbridge for Jayco accelerating at the front of the peloton. But it's getting shut down immediately. There's someone from Australian national team, and Ineos Grenadiers are just shutting them down as they happen. Ineos have sort of been controlling the peloton the whole day, but we've had the likes of Tim Rex from Visma. He's been riding a lot at the front, and then there's been a couple decathlon riders. Patrick Addy, the Australian national champion, he is just creating a gap with an Ineos rider in behind and a Picnic Post rider in behind them, so them three are sort of breaking away from the peloton. And now he's eased up. So we did a lot of attacking, and now he's just eased up. There is a decathlon rider trying to bridge across to them, but this is the most this is the most action there has been all day. There's been 100 kilometers of literal nothing. The first for Wickham Hill, we had Urenstrad win 10 points yet again. Another hill with no attacks at it. Urenstrad just said to everyone, "Can I take it?" And he took it. But yeah, so what is going to happen is within the final 20 kilometres, they're going to hit a loop into Nairn. They're going to go around that loop, and I think it's sort of uneven terrain, elevation here and there. So we could see attacks like we're seeing right now with 40 kilometres to go. I'm surprised there's quite a lot of attacks going. Robert Stannard from Bahrain, the Australian national champion Patrick Eddy. There's someone from Ineos as well, which I'm still not getting through it who it is, but someone from Alpecin. I'm quite confused what is going on, but there is quite a lot of attacks. So yes, as you can see on my screen, weird noise in my ear. As you can see on my screen, we have got the general classification. You know, Jay Vine's victory yesterday. I actually heard that's his first victory in the Tour Down Under. So it's his first victory there, even though he won it in 2023, but it is his first victory at the Tour. So fair play to him. So we've got Jay Vine, then we've got Narvaez 6 seconds behind him, and then a minute plus for everyone else because UAE blew the peloton apart. Pure domination from UAE. I've seen quite a lot of people complain already that the UAE domination has started 3 days 3 days into the season. So yep, what they have like near 90, 100 wins last year, and this is them starting this year. I'm very surprised they brought like a Grand Tour team to the Tour Down Under, like. But yes, 35 kilometers to go. The gap to the breakaway from the first breakaway is 36 seconds to the peloton, and then the chasing group, which contains Robert Stannard, Chris Hamilton from Picnic Post, Eddie Patrick, the Australian national champ, and who's this? Embret Svestad Bardseng from Ineos, but they should be getting caught sometime soon. Yeah, the peloton's bringing them in now. But I'm glad there is some movement in the peloton now because it has been pretty stale. I think they're just trying to just get a breakaway away. I don't think they want any sprinters winning. I'm going to move on actually to... So that is my favourites for this stage today. Yeah, so we've got Matthew Brennan, Tobias Lund Anderson. I should actually change that because I forgot it. There we go. Tobias Lund Anderson, Corbin Strong, Ethan Vernon, Sam Welsford, Danny Van Poppel, and Finn Fisher-Black. That's if it comes to a sprint. I put Finn Fisher-Black in there because I seem to have quite an obsession with him. No, but he came 13th in stage 1, and that was a pure sprint. So this one has a bit of elevation in the final kilometers, so he could potentially get a victory there. But yes, they're my stage favourites. My favourite I chose on TikTok and Instagram, I went with Matthew Brennan. I thought after seeing the speed of him for stage 1, position he came from to get into second, I thought the speed of him, I think he is going to win a stage at the Tour Down Under, and hopefully it is this one because I would like to see him win a stage, but that could be unlikely if all these attacks keep happening from the peloton. It's sort of quieted down now. Ineos are at the front as per usual with one Visma rider right at the front. The gap for the breakaway is now 47 seconds. It was down to 30 whilst they were chasing the second group, but it is back up to 47. It will not be long until we are hitting Mount Barker, which is 1.1 kilometre in length and an average of 4.3%. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting much for the final 40 kilometers. So we're gonna hit the final 30k soon. I should move that because we have moved. We're sat in about there right about now. I think the Mount Barker has maximums of 6%, so it does, but it's a very short climb, so we could see a quick acceleration. The gap is now up to 54 seconds for the breakaway. And we'll get ready to change this because we're rocking up to the final 30 kilometers. It is currently 4 a.m. here. Jeez. I'm knackered, put it that way. I would like to go to bed, but it has to be done. It has to be done, gentlemen. Yes, so the weather as well, I just noticed there on the top right of my screen, the weather in Nairn is 33 degrees. So it is. So it is quite hot, actually. So could that play a factor in the finish? If so, you could potentially see the warmer climate riders winning. Milano, for example. Sam Welsford. Finn Fisher Black, Corbin Strong, any of those ones. If it gets a bit too hot, I think it said last stream, but there's maximums. Well, the weather is reportedly set to reach 40 degrees. I think tomorrow or Saturday. I don't know how it works. They said Saturday, but I don't know what stage that is, because the Australian times have messed with my head, so I'm completely lost. But so this is the if you discount the prologue, this is the second lowest profile score on Pro Cycling, with 26. Stage 1 being 14, 5 being 40, stage 2 yesterday's stage being 80, and stage 4 being 84, which is tomorrow's stage, which should be good, but I think it is only about 6 a.m, which isn't ideal for me, but hey-o, I will most likely be live for that unless I fall asleep here at my desk. So the gap is now 1 minute and 1 second to the peloton. There's 29 kilometers left to go. Break is still the same. No one's dropped. Peloton, no one has attacked. So yeah. I'm actually looking forward to see what attacks do happen on Mount Barker. Got Ernstrad at the front of the breakaway, towing at the moment. Vestroffer in behind him and Pillaney in behind them. If I am sounding quiet, apologies. Still trying to figure out my mic, but it's showing up into the high yellow, low red on the decibel on OBS, so I don't know why it sounds so quiet if it does, but yeah, I'll not know till I listen back. Ernstad being the breakaway for 3rd day in the row, so I have a feeling he is going to win the King of the Mountains. There is 63 points left up for grabs for the King of the Mountains, but let me have a... There is the Mountains jersey now, as we're coming up to the final climb of the day. So you can see Ernstrad, did I spell his name wrong? No, I didn't. Ernstad is 36 points. This is after Wickham Hill. So it is. So this is the virtual, suppose, or the updated. So 36 points for Ernstad Renderink yesterday. 17 points. Enzo Pellegrini, he got 8 on stage 1 and he got 4 on Wickham Hill, so he's now in third with 12 points. We've got Jay Vine, leader of the general classification. He got 10 points from Corkscrew, so he is in fourth. And Jonathan Narvaez, who was second on Corkscrew, the final Corkscrew climb yesterday, he's in fifth. So that is the Mountains Jersey classification. So it is. And we'll keep that there until the climb is over. I could possibly update it as well. Yeah, we got him. So I wonder if there will actually be a sprint for this one. Only 1 kilometer in length for the climb itself, or 1.1, but they have 2.3 kilometers to go till they reach the summit. But it doesn't start until 1.1 to go. There's the feed zone. Oh. Ernstad missed the ball, but got the bag. They've taken a full musette. 2 kilometers of the climb. .5 kilometers to go with a gap of 1 minute and 5 seconds. Temperature has moved up to 33 degrees in there now. I think once it hits 19 kilometers, that's us on the final loop. We might be finishing early depending on how fast everyone rides and I can get to bed. So this is I think this might be the final feed zone. So it is, so it'll be the last chance for anyone to get something to eat. The peloton are passing now. Oh, Groupama are attacking at the front. Groupama FDJ attacking in the feed zone. Groupama FDJ attacking to catch their own teammate. That is good. I'm not very sure why he's done that, seeing his teammate is up the road, but T3 Fontaine. He is riding like mad to catch the break here. I wonder what Groupama's tactic is with this, because his teammate is in the breakaway, so I'm not quite sure why he would attack. But hey ho. 0.8 kilometers of the climb, so the breakaway has finally reached the start of the climb. They reached it 0.3 kilometers ago, but it doesn't start to kick up until about 0.6 to go, so another 0.1 kilometers until we hit the maximum of 6%. I'm surprised he's riding that. What did you call him? Fontaine, I think. I'm surprised he's riding very hard. I'm very confused at the state of... Oh, never mind. We are back up. So Fontaine has to ride 53 seconds to catch the break, and the peloton is a minute and 1 second behind. So he's got a gap of 10 seconds on the peloton. So I don't think he's going to be catching the break anytime soon, but you never know. There we go. Ernstad with another... Did you say 5 points? 5 points, so you got maximum points for today. Let's update that. Let's add 5, so 41. And I'm pretty sure Pelini came third, so he got 2 points. So that is him up to, that is there's the mountains points there for after the final climb. So that is what the final standing for the mountains jersey is looking like today. We have got 24 kilometers to go. The gap from the breakaway to the peloton is 1 minute 12 seconds. Fontaine from Groupama FDJ is being caught with the most unnecessary attack of the stage. Let's move back to stage favourites. So that is the stage favourites for today. I've got a viewer in, so hello viewer. But yes, 1 minute 16, 23.5 kilometers to go, and he's gone. I swear every time I say hello, they disappear. Oh, I need to update that actually. Let us update that now. Narvaez has dropped out. Narvaez has dropped out of the top 5. Oh, wrong one. So that is... There we go, that is the updated. Baptiste Vestroffer has moved up into 5th with 9 points. But yes, let us move back to stage favourites. Actually, I'll just move back to the general classification. So that is what the general classification is looking. I need to move this arrow. I keep forgetting about this arrow. I might need to remove this arrow because I always forget about it. I haven't really moved much anyway. We're sort of sitting about here is where we're sat. Yeah, so we just finished that climb. So 22.2 kilometers to go. The gap to the breakaway is 1 minute 24 seconds. Visma have dominated the left hand side of the peloton. Ineos just to the right of them, Decathlon to the right of them, and UAE take up the right hand side of the road. So the front 4 teams from left to right are Visma, Ineos, Decathlon, and UAE. Live 23 minutes. I'll take that. Let me see what happens if I do this. Yeah, I will exit out of that. Right. Okay, Ernstad has sort of dropped from the breakaway. He's sort of dropping back. Vestroffer and Pelini are riding on. You know, you've won your mountains jerseys. You've won the mountains points maximum for today, so you might as well just sit up and leave it. But now he's fighting to get back in, so fair play to him. Apologies, our itchy eye. Yeah, so we're nearly hitting the final 20 kilometers. So we are. There's a bit of climbing to go as well after Mountain Barker, but it isn't significant climbing as it's not down as a a mountain or a hill. The gap is 125, so the peloton isn't riding as hard as they were when the attacks were happening, but it's sort of leveling out. So this is them passing the finish line and going on to the last loop. There is currently 20 kilometers to go. They are passing the finish line for the first time. This will be them to the end of the race. So yeah, the finish is looking pretty straight for the final 300 meters. So maybe they are looking for, or the thought behind this stage was a sprint finish. Because I think a lot of people didn't know if it was going to be a sprint finish or, well, I found it hard predicting whether it was going to be a bunch sprint finish or a reduced sprint. You know, from the stronger sprinters that could have been dropped from the climbing within the final 30k with the little amount of climbing there is, but you know, people could have still dropped, but try not to yawn. So the peloton is now passing the finish line. This will be them going on to the 19-kilometer loop around Nairn and coming back to the finish line. So this is them on the loop. So I hope to see some attacks actually. When we hit about 11 kilometers, there is a decent bit of climbing which goes above 500 meters of elevation, but there's no marker on it for any points or anything, so I don't know how steep it is, but there is climbing to go. Oh, sorry, that's a lie. There's about 150 meters of elevation. Not even. I'd say about 100 meters of elevation to go. And then it's sort of downhill to the finish, and then it goes up a wee bit with about 4 or 5 kilometers to go. Another ball section on the left hand side, so UAE or nothing is getting any balls, it's all Visma. So just an update or a recap on where we're sitting. 18.4 kilometers to the finish. The gap to the breakaway is 1 minute 23 seconds. The riders in the breakaway are Enzo Pelena, Baptiste Vestroffer, and Ernstad, who has been in the breakaway for 3 days in a row. Ernstad has won Wickham Hill, and he has also won Mount Barker, so he's taken full maximum points for the King of the Mountains jersey, putting him up to 46 points, or no, 41 points. 41 points for the King of the Mountains jersey. So yeah, it's safe to say he's sort of cementing his position for the King of the Mountains jersey to end with that. I think Ernstad is being dropped right now. Yeah, Ernstad has sat up. That's him. He's done for the day. He is finished, so the breakaway is down to 2. It's Enzo Peleni and Baptiste Vestroffer. They are the remaining 2 in the breakaway. The peloton position at the moment, looking head on, going from left to right, is Visma. There's some Lotto Intermarché, there's some Decathlon, and then there's Ineos and UAE on the right hand side. There is the Oka jersey on the right hand side of the road with UAE. A couple of EF education riders in amongst them, as well as some Decathlon, Jayco, NSN. They're quite heavily pushing up this wee steep bit. Visma has dominated the whole left hand side of the road. It's all yellow. Ineos is just sort of in behind them, but I think that'll be the whole Ineos team in behind them. The peloton is split down the middle into two, so it is. Decathlon and UAE on the right, Visma and Ineos on the left, Alpecin dead centre. Gap is now down to 1 minute 17 seconds. I shall move this arrow now. So we are coming up to the peak here. So before this descent, you'll be looking for positioning coming up to this wee lip in the road. So you'll be looking for sprinters to get into position. So I think that's why all the sprinters teams are trying to dominate and get in good positions. We've got Ineos riding for Sam Welsford, Visma riding for Brennan, Decathlon riding for Anderson, and we've got UAE riding for Milano. So we have 15.8 kilometers to go. Yeah, just showing Danny Van Poppel on screen. Haven't seen much of Red Bull actually this race, to be honest. Haven't seen a lot of them. Could potentially see them towards the final 10k. But they are sort of all swallowed at the moment in the peloton. Weather's still sat at 33 degrees, so I'm sure they are all boiling. There's been a lot of ice handed about by the team cars to go down the back of the jerseys. And I'm sure it's not even lasting about a minute. It's probably melting in 30 seconds. (4). Oh. Gap is now down to 1 minute 7 seconds. 14.6 kilometers to go now. I need to try and keep my voice down because the house is asleep. And yep, 4:20 in the morning. How fun. So we're looking probably about another 20-25 minutes left for the stage. Quickstep are slowly moving through with Alberto Danese. Yep, they're coming up the right hand side of Ineos, who are now on the left hand side of the road instead of Visma. So it looks like they're trying to position Alberto Danese. UnoX are coming up the middle. So yeah, you can see all the teams sort of coming together now. I'm trying to think. I think Brennan will get him. If he sprints away, sprint it on stage 1, and he's in a good position, he will blow it apart. Breakaway sat at 1 minute and 1 second ahead of the peloton, so there's still a chance for them now. A lot of Jayco riders sat at the back of the peloton. There's Ernstad at the back of the peloton as well. He's been swallowed and spat out the back. Oh, near yawned. .2 kilometers to go. The gap is comfortably sitting at 1 minute. This is them sort of taking this elevation now. So we could potentially see an attack here. If anyone would like to attack, please do so now. 54 seconds to the break. And there we go. Baptiste Vestoffer has dropped from the breakaway. It is up to Enzo Pellini to do it himself. He's away on his own. That's it done. He's struggling. Bobbing and weaving all over the road. Not be long before the peloton gets him. 49 seconds to the breakaway now. 12.8 kilometers to go. Oh, I forgot about NSN, Corbin Strong and Ethan Vernon. I don't know why I can't yawn on camera. Every time I go and try yawn, I can't. So it's sort of eased out now. So the profile for the final 3 kilometers is from 3 kilometers from the 3rd kilometer down to the 2nd kilometer. It's all downhill. Then it goes uphill from 1.6 to 1. Downhill a bit, and then it's uphill from 0.8 to the finish. So it is. So yeah, I think if it stays how it is, and the breakaway is caught, you could see Matthew Brennan get this, but the breakaway is currently set at a comfortable 52 seconds with 11.5 kilometers to go. Same team still at the front. Ineos doing most of the work on the left. We've got Quick Step on the just to the right of them. Uno X, which is actually the first time we've seen them at the front of the peloton other than Ernstad in the breakaway. Nah. Showing Jensen play right on the screen, but Alpecin are nowhere to be seen at the front of the peloton. Still 10 kilometers, or sorry, 9 kilometers to the last kilometer, but I don't see Alpecin going for this. Decathlon have been doing a lot of work on the right hand side as well. Oh, and there's Red Bull coming up on the left. They'll be sorting themselves out for Danny Van Poppel. Time to change this, because we are hitting the final 10k. It's us into the final 10 kilometers now. I'll move the red arrow till about here. We are sat roughly. Well, they've just came over that wee lip, so I'll put it there. So that's where the peloton are roughly sitting about. So Enzo Pellini is still out the front on his own with a 47-second gap. Baptiste Vestroffer has still not been caught by the peloton. I think he's got a gap of about 15 seconds, so he should be caught pretty soon. So we could see a sprint to catch the break in the final kilometre, which is always good to see. I always like seeing them. Australia does look beautiful, like when you see it. I've been watching the whole stage, so when they're panning the cameras about and you're just seeing the wildlife and the lovely landscapes, it does look very, very nice. But it does look very, very hot as well. And I don't do well with heat because I am ginger, so I just burn. Oh, flip. Baptiste Vestroffer is currently catching Enzo Pellini. He's catching him again. Fair play to Vestroffer. Gap is now 41 seconds. Vestroffer is just about to catch Pellini after dropping. There's 8 kilometers to go. So this is getting pretty interesting now to finish off. So we're finally getting the last bunch sprint. Like I said before, I wasn't sure, and I'm pretty sure quite a lot of people weren't sure, that if the sprinters or a lot of sprinters would make it to this finish line or to make it to the bunch sprint, but it looks as though they are doing so with a lot of the sprinters teams, including UAE, Decathlon, mind blank, UAE, Decathlon, Quickstep, Ineos, Visma. They're all riding for their sprinters, Brennan, Welsford, Ganesi, Milano, Andrensen. Then we've got also Uno X at the front of the peloton as well. 7 kilometers to go. The gap for the breakaway is 41 seconds. So a lot of questions now. Will the breakaway make it? I hope they do, because that would be pretty interesting. But I also hope that Matthew Brennan does win today's stage, my prediction, and also being him also being from the UK, but yes. Oh, I forgot you can hear me tapping there. Apologies if you are wearing headphones or that was very loud. But yes, the final 6.4 kilometers. The breakaway 45 seconds, so it is steadying out from 40 to 45 seconds. Here comes Red Bull up the left hand side of the road. Matthew Brennan sitting comfortably in behind his teammate and Ineos as well. He's sitting behind them. Oh, opposite rider off the right on the gravel. Lawrence Pithy there being shown on screen. You also going to see there's Patrick Eddy. There's Sam Watson. Yeah. 5.4. I need to get changing this now. We're now into the final 5 kilometers of stage 3 at the Tour Down Under. The gap is 46 seconds to the breakaway. The breakaway does contain Baptiste Vestroffer and Enzo Pellini. It was initially only Enzo Pellini about a kilometre ago, but Baptiste Vestroffer caught him after dropping. Here comes NSN up the left-hand side of the peloton, as well as Alpecin. They will be looking for Corbin Strong, Ethan Vernon. There is Andrensen in the blue jersey, tucked in behind his lead-out man, Goodmanstadt, who got booked actually. He got a yellow card for celebrating Andrensen winning, which is a bit odd in my opinion, but there is rules, so you have to follow it, unfortunately. But the four teams at the front now currently are Decathlon, Uno X, Ineos, and there was another one which I can't remember. They need to zoom out a bit. 4 kilometers to go now. 40-second gap for the breakaway. Vestroffer riding at the front of the breakaway. Enzo Polini just in behind him. The cameras are now on the breakaway if you're wondering how I know that. But this is the final wee climb within the final 4 kilometers. So there apparently it reaches the top of the final wee climb, 3.2 kilometers. There's Red Bull on the left-hand side of the road now, accelerating up. Uno X have been at the front middle of this peloton for the past 5 kilometers, riding very hard. NSN on the right. Here comes the acceleration now. So the gap is 36 seconds. It should slowly start to move down now because the peloton is pushing like mad. NSN is on the right hand side of the road, and there is Baptiste Vestroffer officially done. He has finished his ride, so fair play to Vestroffer. You drop, caught back, and now you've dropped again, so fair play to you. So it is Enzo Polini on his own to try and win this with a 28-second gap, 3.4 kilometers to go. So yeah, the time gap has just disappeared. 17 to 10 seconds. Yeah, the breakaway's done. It is not quite yet. There's 10 seconds. Enzo Polini is fair play to him. Fair play to you. You can see the peloton just on the horizon. NSN still on the right hand side. And here comes Visma on the left, picking it up now. NSN and Visma turning the corner together. Red Bull just in behind them. We're sitting 25 to 5. Are you kidding me? 13-second gap to the front of the race now. Enzo Polini on his own. So the main two teams pulling the peloton at the moment are NSN Cycling Team and Team Visma Lisa Bike. Enzo Polini still not caught. 12-second gap. 2.5 kilometers to go. On the profile, it looks as though there is a short downhill towards the final kilometer. My mouse is going nuts. So the gap is steadily sitting at 10 seconds. Enzo Polini is now on the descent down to the final kilometer, what looks like. 2 kilometers left, and there is the peloton slowly, well I say slowly, but very quickly creeping up on him. The peloton looks as though it is down to a reduced sprint, so I wonder who has dropped out of the peloton and if all the sprinters are still there. So it looks like we are getting a reduced peloton sprint. Visma Lisa Bike are still there. EF Education That is Luke Lamperty. That is who they'd be pulling for. So, there we go. This is we're into the final kilometre now, and Enzo Polani has he is just about to get caught by the breakaway. They are quite quickly catching him. But at the front of the race, we've got Visma Leasebike working for Matthew Brennan. There's Sam Watson as well. We see Quick Step on the right-hand side of the road. And we are getting close for the sprint. Matthew Brennan is in a perfect position, right at the front of the peloton, just in behind his rider. His teammate. Oh, Polani has just been caught. Welsford's being brought up. There's Anderson as well. Matthew Brennan's on his own. His teammate has just dropped. And here we go. I'm assuming that is Goodmanstadt. Tor Goodmanstadt is sprinting, leading out again for Anderson. Anderson is second position. Matthew Brennan just in behind him. No one has launched yet. There's Ineos on the left launching. Astana on the far left launching as well. Oh, Welsford. I think so. I think Sam Welsford's got him. Welsford has went. Yeah, Welsford's got it. Fair play, Welsford. Very, very well done. Ineos controlled that peloton the whole race, and Sam Welsford finally got his stage. So fair play to him. Celebrated with the 6-7. Lovely. Yeah. 6-7 celebrations, great. But Sam Welsford has won he's finally won a stage in the Tour Down Under this year. So that's him 3 wins in 3 editions at the Tour Down Under. Or sorry, 7 wins, but you get what I mean. There was a lot that happened there. Sprints are very confusing because a lot does happen, but all the Ineos riders are currently congratulating him. I want to get the final results before I log off. Here we go. The preliminary. Can't even say that word. Are you kidding me? The preliminary. Right. Okay. Right. Got it. And let's have a look at this actually again. So 300 meters to go. Yeah, Ben Swift leads out perfectly, and Sam Welsford just launches. Anderson is sitting in 3rd position. Lewis Barr for Groupama. Yeah. Okay, so the results for stage 3 at the Tour Down Under. So we've got Sam Welsford in 1st, Tobias Lund Anderson in 2nd, Lewis Boer. Let me restart that. Boer. I'll get it. So results for stage 3 at the Tour Down Under. We've got Sam Welsford in 1st, Tobias Lund Anderson in 2nd. We've got Lewis Boer in 3rd, Jake Stewart in 4th, and Aaron Gate in 5th. If I had to give a rider of the day, not a lot happened, but I'll give it to Sam Welsford. Fair play to him. He got a stage in the Tour Down Under this year, so fair play to him. Rider of the day, Sam Welsford. But yeah, that's it over. I can go to bed. Yay. So if you did tune in, or if you're watching this and you have tuned in, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping. But yes, I'm going to end the stream as well. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me for the Tour Down Under Stage 3. And yeah, thanks for watching the Final K, and all the best.